Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and welcome back to this new series. This is probably like the second episode of this coverage of the Israeli-HHH War, Hamas, Hezbollah and Houthis. So the focus probably is still on Lebanon and Gaza, and there is new updates. So the previous report is around 2 days ago. So we're talking about the developments over the past 48 hours. So there's only like 5,000 people, 4 to 5,000 views for the last video. So I believe a lot of people is new to this series. So this is going to be a different format from the Ukraine War's report. Ukraine War is a lot more detailed. This because of this war is so one-sided, and most of the time, it's just not worth it to go into severe details. So this comes with a different format. So just experience it and hope it works for you. So in the Lebanon, in the South Lebanon, the Israeli forces continue their offensive into the Lebanon region in three main fronts right now. So there is this front around here. This is I call it the Shomera front at this moment. The another one is the Avivim front, which is this one, the Avivim front, and another one is over this direction, which I call this the Misgav front. So this is just the temporary names. I still haven't have a good name. There's another incursion over here. I call it the Iftar front, but there's no updates regarding this area here. There is some developments, particularly over in this northern part and this southern part, where the Israeli have some gains. So in this area here, in this Tebe to Makaba region, if I overlap the mapping, you probably can see that the Israeli forces have actually expanded their control. So let me use another color. Expanded their control in this area here. So the previous line was here. So you can see that the Israeli forces have actually expanded their zone of control in this area here as they continue to push out. Fighting seems to be largely over in the Tebe region, where the Hezbollah troops are continuing to stay within this area here. I forgot about the overlapping mapping. Yeah, they're staying with in the more of like a deterrence force. The Hezbollah troops are not like a regular army, so don't expect like a firm front line. These are all very guerrilla-ish kind of warfare, while the Israelis are coming in there with tanks and whatnot. So they are pushing out. And there is still reinforcement in the rear positions that can come in to help, and perhaps some of them have already entered into the fray. With the expansion of the Israeli front line towards Rab el Talatini, and well as Markaba. So this is the current situation. Very, very minor update or changes in this sense. The incursions is really slow. The Hezbollah is really making things not so easy. There is also Hezbollah troops activities in this area here, in the south of this front line around here. So they are firing into the Israeli side. And one of the bigger news over the past 48 hours was this battle around the town of Aitaroun. Sorry, I was trying to pause the video to cough. So, and in this area, similar situation, the Israelis have suddenly made advances into Aitaroun, and they have attacked into this area. This, in the previous report that we have done, this was not even the focus at this moment. Hezbollah troops is fighting against them in this area. They are also the Hezbollah troops are also attacking some Israeli troops in this area, but they are not stopping the Israelis pushing into Aitaroun. So let's continue to wait and see how this continue to develop. I'm not sure if the Israelis is going to do the just flatten the entire town or destroy every single building kind of operation, similar to what they have done in northern Gaza. So it's unclear how they will continue to proceed. We are talking about huge distance. In this area here, like this front line itself is 5 kilometers. The advance is not much. It's probably 1 kilometer. deep into Aitaroun. So let's continue to wait and see. And then there is also battles over in this area here in the Shomera. There is no frontline changes around this area here, as they kind of still stuck at this area with combat around here. The Israeli continue to have a reserve force, a concentration of forces south of Shtula. So this could potentially, launch another flank into the region, or they might actually just use to reinforce the current line. Currently, still no updates regarding this. So, so this is the current region in South Lebanon. If you zoom out, the rest of Lebanon is actually really small. The incursion is very, very small. It's not the kind of a mass, huge invasion that we see in the Ukraine war when the Russians first invaded into Ukraine. I think the main concern, I think, for the Israeli is the fact that the Hezbollah troops will fight guerrilla warfare, and even if the Israeli have the capability, in fact, they have the capability to just drive down all the highway and conquer half of Lebanon, probably easily. But then they will be dealing with guerrilla fighters all across the southern Lebanon, across all the mountains and and the rural regions. It will not be tenable. So they are approaching this with a very slow grind kind of operation, very similar to the Russian strategy in the Ukraine war, in the Donbas region, where the Russians are also slowly moving, very, very slowly, to ensure that there is no enemy troops in the rear position, which is what the Israelis is having problem in Gaza. So talking about that, we go to Gaza. Okay, before we go to Gaza, so just going to take a quick read of the Ribas report. The 23rd October report, they mentioned about the death of Hashem Safi al-Din, which is the likely successor to Hassan Nasrallah. So no, this is going to be a problem. So there is going to be succession or leadership problem with the Hezbollah side. And so they also mentioned about the fighting at the Makaba, the Rab el Talatin Tebe, which is actually this area here. So and the Lebanese Ministry of Health also mentioned about the total number of casualties right now due to the Arrow of the North military operation of the Israelis. 2,546 is killed. This is according to the Lebanese Ministry of Health, which is a lot more credible, than the one in Gaza, because that's the Hamas one. So Hamas, so it's like yeah. So Lebanese Health Ministry is like, it's not Hezbollah. It's a separate organization. So anyway, in Gaza, there is some expanded operation and some more clashes than our previous report. So and there is fighting basically over in the northern part. The Israelis have come into this high school. They have entered the high school and take over. It was previously used by civilians as a shelter. So the Israeli troops have taken over. Fighting is currently still around the region of the Indonesian hospital. Is still in this area, the fighting, and the Hamas fighters are engaging them at this moment. Oops. Yeah, I'm trying to find a green color. They are pushing the Israeli forces in this area here. So this operation is taking way longer than I thought that it would. The Israeli come from two different directions essentially. It's probably like this, and then they remain to stay here. I thought that they will come in and go, so they're staying. So there must be some kind of a major target that they're trying to take out, or try some military objective they are trying to do around in the Jabalia refugee camp, which is around here. This which is over here. This is the Jabalia refugee camp region. So let's see how this continue to develop. And then the Hamas actually launched an attack. According to the Al-Quds, they say that they are engaging with Israeli troops in the north of Beit Halia. Beit Halia is actually over here, so which means that the Hamas troops have probably it might just be a handful of people, a few people, launching some kind of attack on Israeli troops along the border, probably in the border region. This entire area here, this entire region here is already all flattened. It's not like this satellite imagery right now. This is just going to be a desert. This satellite imagery is not updated. So the Israelis have basically flattened this entire region. So everything was demolished. It's just desert. But that also means that things is also very messy as well. Somehow there might be still tunnels around that the Israeli has not discovered. There is also clashes reported in the north of Nuseirat region. Nuseirat camp. So the Israeli seems to have entered into the across the river in an attack, and they are met by Hamas fighters. So the fighting is now reported in the north and the west of Nuseirat. So yeah, it's kind of weird. So this is the Israeli forces coming from the corridor. They are coming into this area here, and the Hamas troops met them. Previously, there was reports of clashes around here where the Israeli tank was firing at some targets. So they are now definitely probably going to scale up the operation because of the detection of Hamas troops in the north of Nuseirat. But let's wait and see, how this continue to move forward. This is like a never-ending war at this moment, because I'm quite sure that the Hamas will continue to grow more angry men that lost their children or family or brothers or fathers or mothers that is willing to sacrifice themselves in the fight. I think the main issue is delivery of weaponry towards the Hamas cause, which if I didn't remember wrongly, these few days I saw a tweet or a post regarding a capture of some weaponry. I believe it's through a drone that's flying in from Egypt, and then it was intercepted and shot down by the Israelis. So there is still no efforts coming from across the border to send in reinforcement, or not reinforcement, but resupply to the Hamas forces from the Egypt side. And so this is also the main reason why the Israelis are having this corridor around Rafah to prevent any further reinforcement or resupply to the Hamas side. And of course, the tunnel system seems to be largely dismantled, which is why I think the Hamas side is resorting to drones, which is a lot more easier to shoot down or detect. But yeah, maybe many of the drone deliveries was undetected. So that the one that was posted, maybe that was just one of them that was detected and got shot down. Because if you didn't detect it, then you don't know that it happened. So most likely there is successful deliveries of weaponry to the Hamas fighters. In the Rafah region, there's also fighting being reported. There's no detailed reports, but the Israelis were attacking in multiple neighborhoods around Rafah. So they're still trying to eliminate whatever targets that they can think they are finding. Which is kind of like, if they move out, they're gonna move out and then just come in back again. Like they will just come back, just come back. Yeah, then they wouldn't be doing much things if you're just holding position. So because conquering or holding grounds in all of Gaza is just not possible. You don't have enough policing, to handle 2 million angry and a hostile population. It's just undoable. Not to mention that many of them would be Hamas fighters that are probably acting like civilians, but there's a weapon somewhere they have hidden. So then they will just go into the real positions and kill the soldiers or the police. So it is not tenable. So and then there is this reports of incursion into the east of Khan Yunis. So this Khan Yunis, there is some kind of an incursion being reported. Israeli troops may be entering into this region here, but so not sure if this is yet another big operation or this just some small skirmishes. So we just continue to wait. So it's amazing how the Gaza side is still fighting at this moment. Looking at the reports from Riber, So there is talking about the Jabalia, the Nusrat situation. There is some information about Han Yunis fighting, and then there's an ambush in the West Bank, and then not very important per se. West Bank stuff is just pointless. Nobody cares. Then over in the 24th report, there was fighting. So there was a mention about the occupying of the school, the Khalifa bin Zayed school, and then of course then there's there's fighting near the Nezarim corridor, fighting in the several regions of Rafah, western part of Han Yunis, and yeah. So basically, that is the general situation in the Israeli war against the Triple H. I haven't started to add in reports of the Houthis' actions, which they are still continue to act on their so-called blockade of the Red Sea, firing at certain ships. There are some ships getting attacked, but I haven't mapped in the details. Maybe I will start to add them in the future. So anyway, this is the situation report for the Israeli situation, Israeli-Palestinian Lebanon situation. So help to share, because this is the new series. Your like, your comment, your sharing will help to make this reporting tenable. If not, then if it's not cost effective, then it's going to be a problem for me to continue the reporting. So help to make this work, and I'll see you guys in the next update.